Okay, guys. Sorry it took me so long to start part two. And again, this video is, it might be a little, pardon me, it might be a little explicit. It's PG 16, 17, 17. Okay, so anyhow, back to the Walt Disney style MK Ultra. Now, what it feels like, well, I'm going to touch on what it feels like to be under MK Ultra. But first, I'm going to go more into the techniques. So how they groom the children, they spoil them. Like, they buy them everything they want, practically. They take them to Disneyland. And now, mind you, they've already been groomed at home some. So a lot of times when they go to Disneyland, after they've been groomed to the camp or the Mickey Mouse Club, like Britney Spears, for example, after they've been groomed, and it starts off by, oh, come sit on my lap. Oh, see, there's different types of pedophiles. There's pedophiles that are just cuddly and overly affectionate with children, and it's not right. Sometimes because they go overboard and then they want to be like that towards other people's children. That's not like relatives and like basic over hugging someone or always wanting to like it's different ways. But so they had gradually, oh, come sit on my lap, oh, do this, oh, do that, and then it goes into do something disgusting, and little by little the child ends up a lot of times giving in to their handler because they've been conditioned and so spoiled to get anything they want, and then they get threatened that if they don't do certain things after they've been groomed, then they get punishment and get things taken away from them. And like I said before, sometimes the parents are in on it. Sometimes the parents get paid, and then other times it's done behind parents' backs. Now, what it feels like to be under MK Ultra, like I was saying, the symptoms and personality traits, that the person will like stare into space and look dazed sometimes, mood swings, nervousness, fidgeting of clothes, clumsiness. Children that have been groomed when they're young, they had those patterns like that, like severe mood swings, outbursts, staring into space, fidgety. Sometimes they jump at the sound of any little noise sometimes. Even though a lot of times people with post-traumatic stress disorder that have been groomed or abused, they can tolerate noise because their system's always on fight or flight a lot of times. But yeah, so Shirley Temple, like that's what happened to Shirley Temple, Britney Spears, even a lot of people. I don't think that there's a lot of people in Hollywood that know the truth, and they maybe only did like a couple of rituals, the ones connected to Disney. Like some of the actors and movie stars, they've done the rituals, and that's how the children get involved in it too, through the different clubs and organizations. And like, say for instance, like I'm not saying Janet Jackson, but let's say stars from her era when she was young, during that phase, like when she was on Good Times, and allegedly, but anyhow, yeah, she was groomed. She's not an abuser, but she was groomed at one time. I mean, all of them, just like Michael Jackson was, and which he may still be alive. He might have faked his death. But I don't want to focus too much on the negative and bad part about the MK Ultra. What I want to touch on now to turn it around is how you break free from MK Ultra. Now, how you break free from it, it takes a lot of self-care. You have to become a bit selfish at times. You have to meditate, you have to pray, you have to have good coping skills, and learn. A lot of times, children that were abused, when they get older, they can have a reckless lifestyle and bad temper, and there's ways to break out of that, because sometimes that's the after effect of being under that type of mind control, that type of MK Ultra demonic mind control. Now that kind, there's ways you can break out of it. Like you have to, like music, reading, meditating. A lot of people turn to drugs. A lot of people that were abused, they end up on drugs. Some of them can be very high functioning while others aren't. But there's ways to break free from the MK Ultra. The main thing, you have to get away from your handler. That's the first thing. You have to get away from your handler. And if you can't get away from your handler for some reason, like say you realize all along, because sometimes you'll have a handler and don't even realize you have a handler. They don't realize that the person is the actual handler. A child will just say, "Oh, that's my uncle. That's my auntie. Oh, that's Nana mom from down." You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, but there's ways you can break free from it. But yeah, first you have to get away from your handler. Once you realize, some people don't realize they're under the influence of a handler. See, that's the thing. That's how a lot of people end up in trouble too. And children that were abused, even into their adult life, sometimes it carries over, and they have a habit of getting relationships where they turn into power struggle, or one person wants to be way too bossy than the other person or commanding. And I mean, it's okay in a normal relationship to be that way on occasion, but children that were abused, they often end up with significant others that act like how the handlers acted, which is kind of like the Stockholm syndrome when they pick relationships. And that also ties into destiny swapping. I'm going to be coming back and doing a video on destiny swapping too, how that works, because I see a lot of videos on that. And I could give one quick example of destiny swapping. Some people say it doesn't exist, but say you meet someone, you're in love with them, right? And all of a sudden that person, somebody else come, and that person start being around that other person more, whether either the honey trap, and then the honey trap distracts the man from the more decent woman, because the honey trap will come just looking so perfect and flawless with plastic surgery also many of time. But the destiny swap, that's like a form of destiny swap, when the spy or the infiltrator or the honey trap come in, and then the man ends up falling for the honey trap. But yeah, there's ways out of those situations too. See, the honey trap's goal is to get you to completely lose your temper. The honey trap goal is to get you to completely lose your temper and go postal, crash out. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be back on more of these topics. I'm kind of tired. I'm supposed to be doing laundry. All right, guys, I'll be back with the rest of part 2. This is part 2, but I have one more segment of it after this video. I'll finish probably tomorrow. Thank you.